Alvin gave you a great introduction, but could you, like, briefly, in your own words, tell our viewers what is your book really about?
Yeah, the book is about my journey from growing up in rural North Alabama in a Christian household, what that looked like with my grandmother being very pivotal in my upbringing, moving into early adulthood, serving 4 years in the United States Air Force, aim high, great way of life till you start living it. Accepting a call to ministry, trying to figure out what that meant. Shenanigans in the church, outside the church, around the church.
I was a junior deacon at Faith Tabernacle Baptist Church in Chicago on the south
amen,
side.
somebody. Yeah.
Hallelujah.
So there's a big part of it in there just around trying to discover purpose and voice, while also trying to figure out what does it mean to be gay, what does it mean to be Black, what does it mean to be Christian in this world. And so it just goes through my life, the relationships, and also the lessons that I've learned along the way that I really attribute to, things that my grandmother taught us when we were very young.
And Cedrick, you wrote about your grandmother in this very emphatic, lovingly way. Like I feel as if you revered her. And yet, when I read a little bit of a snippet of your book, you said, as much as I trust you, I could not have told you that I was gay. Can you talk about that?
Yeah. It was for me this moment, even writing those words, I wrote that and I sat back, looked at it for probably 2 weeks before I wrote anything else. And it was really struggling with this tension, this tug, this pull, this reality of being in relationship with someone, loving someone, yet withholding a part of yourself and not trusting. And where I, landed with that was, it wasn't so much questioning my love that I had for my grandmother, but it was that level of that lack of courage that I have to really allow that love to be fully manifested in her as well as in me. And I've then of course applied that to other relationships as well.
Well, what was your experience like writing this coming out story?
Well, like I said, it didn't start out to be a manuscript for any of you to read. It was just my own little exercise. In fact, it was my therapist who encouraged me to get involved in some activities where there was no way that I could possibly be in charge or lead it in any way. And so I signed up to be a part of a writing group. And the writing exercise that I was going to undertake in that writing group was my journaling. And my journaling was going to be this series of letters. Well, it turns out the person coordinating the writing group is a publisher, read a couple of my essays and said, I believe you have something here. And so it turned a corner and became this project. And so it really was, by the time I was done with it, and there's probably, I think there's about 300 pages in the book. I probably wrote about 450 to 500 pages of material. But once I finished it and the editorial process started, I really didn't care if anyone ever read it. I was just glad I had written it, that I had taken control of my own narrative, that I had courage enough finally to tell my own full, complete truth. And if nobody else ever read it or knew it, I knew it. It was there. And that was enough for me.